Let's see. What's going on, guys? Welcome to a segment of
first segment
of late night hockey talk
and other stuff.
Yeah,
because we're just gonna ramble.
Yeah. So as you can see, we're coming live from my office. We got the few of the banners from our various tournaments that we won. We got the 2015 one, states, and then the states. So yeah. So how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing good.
Going back to school soon, huh?
Unfortunately, yeah. But hey,
you know what that means, right?
Hockey season.
Oh
yeah.
You start this week, right?
Yeah, we got practice Tuesdays and Thursdays. A little bit later now, 8:15, 9:15. So yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Good.
So you were talking about how hockey season's starting soon with obviously our travel seasons and also NHL. What matchup are you most excited for this season? Team wise.
In the NHL or in your
NHL?
NHL.
Yeah, it could be any team.
Well, a couple of things. One, there are those who are uncomfortable, and not just the hockey guru, right? The hockey guru is probably one of the most knowledgeable hockey people that I know.
That's funny.
It's true.
I'm kidding, Serge. Love you guys.
It's true. But there's a couple of people out there who are looking for a retraction, looking for a bad season from the Golden Knights. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to go back to the finals, but I see no legitimate reason why
they can't.
Why they can't at least make the second, third round of the playoffs this year. There's no reason. I mean, injuries aside, they're playing the same teams they played last year. It wasn't just the fact that they surprised people because they played them a couple times each during the course of the year. It's very tough for other teams to go into Vegas, so they have that advantage. First of all, because whenever you go to Vegas, it's Vegas.
Yeah.
So they have that advantage.
Yeah, and sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No.
Also, another thing is when it comes to Vegas, now there's guys kind of like there's several hockey analysts. I heard it from Steve Dangle a few times. Kind of asking themselves, is Vegas going to be able to recreate the success that they had from last year? And, that's on every, Vegas fan's mind because, hockey's in Vegas. It's one of the greatest cities in the world. And, they have a young, fast team. They just re-signed almost said Erik Karlsson. They signed, William Karlsson back, 40-goal man. They got guys like Alex Tuch, Jonathan Marchessault. They just inked up Marc-Andre Fleury.
Who of any rate have they lost? Any value?
Yeah, David Perron was a decent amount of loss. Same with James Neal.
Right.
Perron going back to Vegas. Neal going to Carolina.
Back to Vegas.
Or, going back to St. Louis, I believe. I think that's where he went. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank right now. But, yeah, so Perron's an interesting player. Yeah, he contributed, I think, 30 points, like 40 points. So, that's a decent amount. But when you got guys who are the names of, Alex Tuch, Jonathan Marchessault, you start to think, maybe even without them, Vegas is still going to be successful.
Well, that's my point. You're not losing a lot. You're gaining. So, again, why should you – well, all of a sudden, reality, the teams are going to – this team played –
82 games.
And then playoffs and made it to the finals.
In their first year.
So, you tell me why – I mean, unless they get a little full of themselves, which can happen. It can happen to any team. I don't see any in fact, they should be motivated to show the world that, they weren't a flash in a pan. Now, but what I'm interested in is I want to look at the Toronto Maple Leafs this year because they are loaded. Their biggest problem is going to be living up to expectations because they got people like Austin Matthews in their prime. They got Merlot. My dog is barking. And they got Tavares now. They're loaded. There's no reason why they shouldn't be, a top pick, one of the 4 or 5 top picks to make it to the finals. So I want to be interested. It's going to be interesting to see them. Good friend of mine, one of the originators of FHT Sports, by the way, Tony the goalie, Uncle Tony, as we like to call him. He's a Red Wings fan, and I'm looking at the Red Wings this year a little more optimistic than he is, because again, this past year, they didn't have a great year, but they played better than the year before. It's a progression. It's things.
I mean, they made the playoffs 17 years in a row.
Yep.
And they just signed one of their younger pieces. Dylan Larkin.
Mm-hmm.
He's before McDavid came, he was the fastest skater, and young guy, I think 25 now, but Detroit has a bright future.
I think so, and I look at a team like the Avalanche. They didn't play very well at all 2 years ago. This year a little bit better. Teams like the Rangers, my favorite team. They had a bad year last year, and it's very easy for the talking heads or for the flippant people to just go, "Oh, they're going to stink again." But you know what? We'll see. They're going to struggle, I think. I think you believe they won't make the playoffs. I believe that they will just get in, and that's progress from the year before. Shattenkirk though has to show us something.
Yeah,
he's a bit of a cotton ball.
When we signed him last year, everybody congratulated the Rangers because we just got, the biggest fish on the market.
Yep.
And when you had Ryan McDonough with Kevin Shattenkirk, people thought instant cup contender. Well, things happen. You could build the biggest, most cap hit players, and you could have a team of the most scoring players, meaning most goals, most points, and you won't be able to and if you have bad chemistry, you won't be able to win. So I think the Rangers caught the bad chemistry bug this year, because
I think that came from the top. Their coach had to go. He was a horror show.
Yeah, Lon Vigneault. He was decent as a Canucks. I'm gonna say GM. He was decent as Canucks coach. He brought us to the finals, but then again, that was a lot of it was, our GM.
But you know what it is? It's sometimes, and it's very flippant of me now to say he was horrible. But what happens is you wear out your welcome sometimes. Some just need a different voice. And he seemed exasperated. He seemed like he didn't want to be there. And he wasn't engaging the players. He certainly wasn't engaging the fans. And when you looked at his body language behind the bench, he looked like he wanted to be anywhere but there. Shattenkirk this year, this past year, obviously the injuries bothered me.
Yeah.
But that happens. So let's see if he heals again.
I think we would have gotten last seat in the playoffs if guys like Jimmy Vesey stayed healthy,
right.
Pavel Buchnevich.
Buchnevich's going to get along with the coach.
Well, yeah. So actually, that's what I was going to get to. You got a guy like David Quinn, straight out of coaching college. And
Boston, right?
I
think so.
I got my phone.
I'm thinking Boston. Does it really matter? Nobody's even watching right now. And in about a month from now, when this thing is getting, pipeline full of views, you're going to look back and go, what was the first one like? It was like this. So anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I believe he coached with BC.
And same with Brady Tkachuk, I think. Actually, I don't know if he played for Boston.
But my point is, if you're not getting along, if your coach is not communicating with you, you're not getting along with the coach.
It brings the morale down, which if your morale's down, you don't want to play there.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up getting traded to a team where they want to play, and then they end up excelling.
Right.
it happened with what's his name, who wouldn't sign with the Canucks.
Okay. Well, any player who does sign, you're gonna have that.
It's gonna bother me for the rest of the night.
Go look. Don't cheat. Still go. This kid usually he knows a lot.
Hey, you know what? It's 10:31 at night. It's not too late, but I had a long day.
A long day at the river, at the lake. So, anyway, my point is when you have a poisoned locker room or you have a lethargic locker room because you're not getting inspired by the coaches, and I have the philosophy where theoretically I shouldn't need the coach to inspire me, but what he shouldn't do is stifle my creativity either. But I blame the players. I was going to say with Shattenkirk, my biggest problem with Shattenkirk, I worry about his injury because his defense was awful. He was like a sieve. It was like Olay on defense. It was like he didn't want to hit. He didn't want to, I'm not just talking about violent hit or whatever, but the fact is nobody looked like they were worried about coming on his end. I expect a lot more out of him because he's a very good player. It's time for VC, who's one of my personal favorites, to step up next level. To be that guy who's fighting for, first line time. What'd you find out?
Eric Lindros. He was drafted by the Quebec Nordiques, and I believe, if I remember correctly, he didn't want to sign with them.
He ended up with the Flyers. Eric Lindros.
Yeah.
Ended up with the Flyers.
Yeah.
Captain Concussion, by the way. And his brother, same thing. He had a cup of coffee with the Icelandic fish sticks. Brought my A game. So, and I want to see the Flyers do, and I'm a Ranger fan, as you probably know, you will know. So I want to see, but I want to see the Flyers do well. I like to see some of these teams do well. I just love hockey. It's just a phenomenal sport. It's great fun to watch. The personalities in the game are terrific. We just lost the great Stan Mikita. And it's a great sport. It's a great game. It's why we love it. It's why whether they're playing in travel or ball hockey that we help run, or it's just a wonderful game, and it's wonderful to watch. And there's different players and there's different coaches and different styles.
Now I don't know if you guys see, but right there I have a New York Rangers game puck, and plus I have the hockey stuff up there. And I might bring it out a little bit later in the live stream. I got two, Rangers hats. And if you look around my house, there's a lot of hockey memorabilia, just hockey sticks, hockey tape. And, hockey's a great sport. It's almost like a lifestyle, And it is truly one of the greatest sports in the world, if not the greatest sport. Because it's not often when it's not with every sport where you play it once or you see it on TV or you just look at a picture of a hockey player and say, this is what I want to do. I want to play hockey. It doesn't happen with every sport. And I was actually having a conversation with one of my teammates today, and he was saying how America has their soccer and their baseball, but Canada has hockey, and then vice versa. So you got a big league in America like the NFL, and then you got a still big league but lesser known in Canada as the CFL. It's kind of vice versa here. You got the MLB here, or you got – I'm sorry, I'm going loopy. But what I mean is, it's a lesser known sport, but when you get into it, you're kind of sucked into it. And it's great for – the youth, a lot of coaches and stuff, they give back.
Yep.
And kind of
we're this weekend with Kevin Kaminsky.
Yeah,
that guy's awesome.
You play a lifetime of hockey, and really, in the end of it, all you want to do is give back to, the city that might have made you the player that you are. Or, things like that. So I think that it's a great sport.
Well, let me ask you something, because, you're 13 years old, correct?
Yes.
I should know that, right?
Yes, you're my father.
Yes. Now, you've won a state championship, you and your team. So what was more exhilarating to you? Because you've also flew a plane for about 40 minutes. What was more exhilarating, flying the plane or winning the state championship?
State championship's easy. Because
talk to us about it.
Because flying a plane is, if you guys don't know, which I've never even talked about it really. I used to, I still do, but not as much. I used to want to fly airplanes, and I used to know a lot about them, and
you still do.
Yeah, I still do. But first time I flew an airplane, it was for like 40 minutes, and it was kind of one of those things where, yeah, it's cool right now, and it'll be cool to think back on. But when it comes to winning a championship, there's nothing that comes close to it. Let me ask you a question. Why do we play season games? So get in the playoffs, right?
Correct.
And yeah, also grow as hockey players. But, general premise.
It keeps score for a reason.
Yeah. So you work multiple seasons, season after season after season of either missing the playoffs or just not making it to the big show, So what you have to do is you just have to keep working, and you practice, 3-4 hours on the ice a week. And I've been doing this sport for 7 years, and I 7 years after I first started, we won a championship. And yeah, I flew a plane, but once you're a state champion, no one can take it away from you. Once you're a state champion, no matter where you are or where you be, you're always going to be a part of that team that did it all.
That banner hangs forever.
Yeah. And see, even right there.
Yeah.
I hope I have that thing till the day I die. I'm proud of what we accomplished. I'm proud of my teammates. I think just the excitement that was going into it, also with the stress. Some guys played with, like sprained ankles, injuries. One of our players had like a huge gash with stitches. He still played through it. I got hit in the head in the finals, and I still played for the last 9 minutes. So, it's one of those things where it's just like, we're this far and there's no going back. If we're going to do it, let's do it now.
Right.
So that's what we ended up doing. And, present day, I look back on it and I'm like, it's amazing. And that's what I love.
No one can take it away
from sport. Yeah.
And then you have the haters, right? You have the haters. Oh, it's not a AAA. It was a B.
I had a few guys come up to me and say that. And all I could say is, if you were so good, why didn't you win one?
That's right.
That's all I say. And I walk away.
It's
be the bigger man when you say it.
Exactly. You don't need to tear them down, but you just handle your business.
Don't curse them.
Whoever they put in front of you, play, you beat.
Yeah.
And
you beat, you move on.
Truth is, you won state championship.
Yeah.
If they won a team, would they have not gone? Whoa, it's not a AAA team. Whoa, I'm not going. You know what? People mostly dismiss.
Good evening. How are you doing?
They're shallow and jealous. Hey, welcome aboard. How are you? So, anyway, early predictions.
Yeah. You
have the Rangers not making the playoffs. You have Toronto going far. Where do you have the Kings and the Sharks?
I have them. Well, first of all, I think the Kings will barely be a playoff team this year.
Well, hold on a second, Rob. Absolutely. We are excited about Selling Arena getting hockey back. 12,000 of the Fresno fans who made that happen. We have to thank you. And we got to thank Jeff Blair, who negotiated a great deal. And he knew that you guys would come out, and you did. So we're excited at FHT to cover and honored to cover the return of hockey to Selling Arena.
Yeah, so just to kind of add on to what you just said. I grew up watching the Monsters, and for the first 2-3 years that I started following hockey, for my 7th birthday, I think I had a party there, and we just, got some pizza, sat down, watched the game, and there's no other place like Fresno to watch a hockey game.
Yep.
Yeah, great fan base, great seats, and all the players. I've gotten, the privilege to kind of meet some of them, and obviously, as you may know, we are close to the coaches, and it's all great. Fresno fan base, just in general, the whole atmosphere when it comes to hockey is amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
It was actually, I was actually driving by Selland the other day, and I saw it, and I was like, wow, I never noticed that. And it's a cool thing.
Let me tell you something. There's going to be some stories this year.
Oh yeah.
In that lobby.
Oh yeah.
Before and after the game and everything else. And on that note, remember, we will be announcing the first inductees to the FHT Hockey Hall of Fame. We're just about to announce where it's going to take place in November. We're going to have a movie, and we're going to have a red carpet unveiling of the movie. We're going to have a wonderful hockey dinner, Hall of Fame hockey dinner, and we're going to be announcing the first inductees. So please get your votes in, because right now we have a committee set up, and there's a lot of conversations, and we rely upon you. Who do you want to say? Whether it's a Monster, whether it's a later day Falcon, whether it's a green and gold Falcon, whether it's a Fresno Aces, whether it's a Fresno State hockey player, whether it's a travel player from the junior team. There's so much history here. Here's an idea. Hey, Rob, tell your friends this. They probably don't even know this. And we're going to be making this known to people, but we'll let it out here. Do you know it's the 50th year of hockey in Selland Arena? Do you know the first time a puck was dropped in Selland Arena was 1968? And wow, Jeff got the Monsters back in Selland in 2018. That's 50 years. So we got a lot. We got a lot to celebrate.
Let's go for 150 more.
That'd be good.
Yeah, 200 years of Selland.
So yeah. So Rob, what team do you follow? Here's my thing. Let us know while we just talk. So here's my worry about the Sharks. We love the Sharks. I love the Sharks. We cover the Sharks. Yeah, nice. There it is, Rob. Yeah. All right. So are you afraid that they're getting a little too old? I mean, they got some Rob Couture, got some young people up there, but what are you guys thinking?
Joe Thornton, who's an outlier. Obviously, he had that knee injury this year.
Rob's worried about it.
Yeah.
You talk to Rob.
Yeah, obviously Joe Thornton had that knee injury that cut his season short. He had that $8 million contract for, that I think it was a 1-year contract. Pavs expiring, yeah. The thing about Pavs is he's a great hockey player, and if any, sorry, I'm getting a phone call. 1 second. If any team could get, a Joe Pavelski on their team, a Joe Thornton, even a guy like Brent Burns, it's a great franchise either way. So, you got guys who are younger, guys like Kevin LeBlanc, who probably in a few years will be scoring upwards of 60, 70 points. And when they do, I think this team's going to be a completely different franchise, because we pretty much know that in the future, Logan Couture will be the captain of the Sharks. At least I hope he will, because he deserves it. He carried this team on his back this year. And, Martin Jones, I got the chance to watch him play once or twice this year. I also got the chance to watch Aaron Dell play. And keep in mind, this is in person. And I love the SAP Center. It's goal horn's great. Just the whole atmosphere. It's all live. And, but yeah, so I was sitting right behind the glass, right behind Martin Jones. And just his positioning, he's right up on the post. He always has his eye on the puck. It's perfect. But then whenever he scores, or the other team scores on him, he kind of just skates it off. And that's the type of guy you need. You need a guy who can stay calm, cool, collective through all these stressful times. And then you got Aaron Dell, who I think he's 27 or 28. Let me check that out real quick. But who I think could be a future starter, on another team. He's 29. Genesis, yeah, that's actually, I don't know if you've seen any of the hockey guys videos, but he actually brought that up in one of his videos one time. He has good positioning, just that 5-hole isn't the best, and that the same goes with a guy like Carter Hutton or Robin Lehner. So when it comes to San Jose, I think they're going to have a bright future. And also, isn't that, I believe that's the online article, correct? Because that sounds familiar. Teal Town, USA, have you heard of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And, we get to cover the Barracuda, and then we got to cover the Sharks as well.
Well, I'm going to have to check them out.
So I'm very excited about the upcoming Shark season. I think that they should have went farther last year. And I think they see that window closing.
Kevin Lacey.
Yes. And, I think they're going to have a very good year. I think if they can stay away from injury, I think they know that this team, as it's formulated, the window's kind of closing a little bit. So I think now, I think you're going to be in for a very, very good year. And I think you got a lot of excitement ahead of you. I got friends of mine who are Anaheim Duck fans. I think they're going to struggle this year. I think the Kings are going to look for an identity.
Yeah.
Yes, so exactly right.
There's a video that the Sharks posted on their YouTube channel a little while back. It was Evander Kane mic'd up. And just, the communication that they had was just amazing. And I think, Evander Kane has spent all of his career so far on the Buffalo Sabres. And
who?
Evander Kane.
No. What team?
Buffalo Sabres.
Are they a team? Kidding.
Come on. We love you, Buffalo. Enjoy the basement for the next 5 years. I
actually like Buffalo. But they did that Kane, and we'll get to Kane in a second because I'm a big Kane guy. Sometimes for marketing purposes, teams change their logos or their sweaters, and they go from a classic sweater to garbage. Let me be nice about it. Garbage. Buffalo had that wonderful blue sweater, and they went to that. It looked like an angry water buffalo. It was terrible on the front of their sweater. The Sharks, they kind of keep their sweaters. They change it up a little bit.
But I still love that old teal. Old teal with the black and then the orange and then the white, like right there. Yeah, I forgot he was on Winnipeg. I think he was there for like 1 or 2 seasons. But
yes, you know your hockey, my brother. Yes, they're very inept. They remind me of the New York Jet owner. The guy, he's
but the Penguins are actually good.
No, he's talking about the owners of the Buffalo.
Oh,
terrible. And Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets. I'm not talking Winnipeg. That's a good team. New York Jets, horrible. Haven't won since 1968. Bad ownership. But here's what you have to do with bad ownership. Don't go to the games. You don't yell and scream, just don't go. You hit them in the pocketbook. You don't go to the games. Watch them on television, so they're still making some money and you're still following your team, but you just don't go to the games. Empty seats, even if they're paid for, optically look terrible. Nobody wants to watch a game.
Islanders.
The Islanders are awful. Rob, right? The Islanders, you got the Icelanders, the fish sticks. Terrible team.
Well, they have a decent future with Matt Barzal, but
their future's playing in Toronto now.
No.
Tavares
is 27. But then you got a guy like Matt Barzal who just won the Calder this year. He's going to be better than Tavares, at least I believe.
I believe he got potential, but we'll see. And we got to wrap up sometime.
Yeah, I'm gonna get.
Well, we hope to see you again here.
I want to answer his I want to answer his topic, and then I want to get to one about the Maple Leafs. But coming back to when we were discussing Evander Kane here, I think he's I think that he's gonna have a great fit in San Jose. Obviously, he scores a lot of points, and I think he could be an assistant captain in a few years to come. Young San Jose talent coming up through the through the system.
I think within 4 years, this is Kane's team. I think you're right.
Yeah, he just looks like he fits perfectly. I couldn't imagine him on any other team.
Don't get me started about the 49ers, because I used to play college football. I coach college football. Now, look, the New York Jets play New Jersey. New York Giants play New Jersey. Dallas Cowboys do not play in Dallas. They play in a city called Arlington. And as you know, the 49ers don't play in San Francisco. No, they moved. They moved the stadium. It's right outside of San Jose.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I like the 49ers did that. That's exactly what you do. You know your sports. You just don't show up. Empty seats lead to changes because it's embarrassing. It's just – because first off, in the NFL, you got blackout rules, even though they've amended them a little bit. If the game's not sold out, it can't be on local television either. So, you put the money where the mouth is, and they're losing money on that. So, the 49ers are not playing San Francisco. They're nowhere near San Francisco. It's a storied franchise. A big Notre Dame fan, college fan. So I used to watch Joe Montana play for Notre Dame. He had a running back, Vegas Ferguson. They won the Cotton Bowl against Houston. But yeah, you're right. That's exactly what the 49 fans did.
Yeah.
I think Vegas will have a correction. See, he's part of the correction. You missed the first part. He's thinking Vegas is going to have a correction.
Not doing too good?
Not doing as good this year.
I don't know. It depends if they could operate without Perron and Neal. But I think although Perron was, decent help, and Neal was, he was their solid second liner. I mean, they got Paul Stastny, so I think they're going to do good.
Look, do I think they'll go back to the finals? Probably not. But I have friends of mine who don't think they'll make the playoffs. I think they'll definitely be playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the problem, Rob. Here's the problem. I'm sorry I cut you off guard.
They're going to come into this season, or they came in last season saying, okay, it's an expansion team. They're not going to do good. And while all the other teams went like this, the Vegas, Golden Knights came over them like this. And that's why they'd win. They'd have a loss. They'd had another loss. Win. Rinse and repeat.
Agreed. But here's the other advantage they have. We talked about this earlier, and growing up in New York, we had this advantage all the time. The players used to talk about it openly. When a visiting team comes to New York, what do? The night before, they go out, they go to the restaurants, they go drinking, whatever the case may be. Think about Vegas. These teams come into Vegas.
Casinos, parties, women.
Yes.
Yeah.
Repeat, wash, repeat. So, so they have that advantage unless you really have that discipline that says, I'm going to treat this like I'm in Nashville. Well, but Nashville's a great place. Country music, this and that. I'm going to treat it like it's Buffalo.
What do you have there?
You have
snow.
You have
a lot of snow.
Yeah, and Niagara Falls not too far away. But so that's the problem. They have an advantage when they have with their home games, because people. That's what same thing with New York. They come into New York, especially early in the season. So
So I want to talk about one more topic, and then we got to go. But I want to talk about the Maple Leafs real quick and about Austin Matthews. So I got to pull up one more thing, just make sure I have my facts right here. You have Austin Matthews, right? So he had a good sophomore season. He's fast. But when you got a guy, you know, in the league or right behind him like Patrick Laine, who he's 6'5", scores a lot. Yeah, he's a winger, and then Toronto needed a center. But imagine a pairing of Nazem Kadri, Patrick Laine, and then like JVR. You know, when you look at it, you look back and say, you know what, that wouldn't be the worst idea. And then you keep looking through the draft, like I'm kind of just skimming over it. Hasn't really been any impact players besides guys maybe like Sam Steele or Pierre-Luc Dubois. I think that if Matthews kind of stays on this route of 60-point guy, I think he will be a draft bust.
A draft bust? Wow. Well, I don't know about a bust.
I'm not saying, bust, but
you just said bust.
60-point guy.
Won't be the superstar that
yeah, but I'm saying 60-point guy first overall versus, a guy like Patrick Laine who just had, who just had 70 points this season.
Look, I think Austin Matthews is top-tier talent.
No doubt in my mind.
I think he had a very disappointing playoffs. But that's okay. It's his first time. Hold on. It's the first time in the playoffs.
But also this is his second year, and he's already had an injury. 60 points. He had 63 points in 62 games. So, yeah, that's point a game. 1 point over point a game. But then you got Patrick Laine, who scores 70 points healthy. And Patrick Laine could possibly be the next Ovechkin when it comes to scoring.
Early, yeah.
Well, yeah. Like, that's like saying right now that McDavid's the GOAT. You can't.
No.
He has 3 seasons in.
No.
But
well, let me ask you this. Would you rather McDavid or Matthews?
Kidding me? McDavid.
Okay. So, Matthews, I think, is a very good player. Now, if you ask me, is he elite? I think he has the potential to be elite. McDavid is already elite.
I think
McDavid's already elite.
Oh, yeah. If not franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Because, 100 points for any players.
Yep.
103 points is right through the roof. Like, here's everyone else, and here's McDavid.
I think Matthews is a student of the game. I think he'll rebound and have a better – he had a good year.
Hopefully he does, because
but he needs to do more in
my prediction is he will be on the second line this year. And John Tavares –
Wow.
Well, John Tavares is also a center.
Right.
Unless he did something like, Marner on left wing, or Marner on right wing, Tavares in center, and Matthews on left wing.
I can see that. I could see Matthews being moved off for center for the first line and double shifting a lot of games and playing center on maybe a second or a third line.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, you have Edmonton bouncing back this season. Find a goalie first, and then talk to me.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right, and here's why. A couple of reasons. I think they bled out last year, and I think that some teams are going to come in expecting an easy win. And when you have
kind of like what I was talking about with Vegas.
Correct. It's same philosophy.
Yeah. So Edmonton has a young team. They got Jesse Puljujärvi, Jujhar Khaira, although, he's your best, he's one of the best fourth line players in the game. You got Connor McDavid, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Okay, yeah, I agree. I think they might.
Do you think that's why they put Gullickson? Do you think that's why they brought Gullickson in?
Gullickson?
Yeah, Gullickson was, he used to play for the Fresno Falcons, and he's one of the people up for the Hockey Hall of Fame. Who knows? We'll find out soon. But, he was the coach of the Calgary Flames. He got canned. But now he's an assistant with Edmonton. And I think you might be right. But maybe they brought him in as a potential replacement if he gets canned. That's a good thought.
Kind of having just this extra padding just in case.
Yep.
Yeah, so I enjoyed the topics that we had tonight.
Yeah, when are we doing this again? We're going to do this a couple times a week, right?
Yeah, we could, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
35, 40 minutes a night.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, this hopefully will be a
It'll be a regular thing.
Yeah, reoccurring thing.
We'll talk hockey and other stuff.
Yeah.
Mostly hockey. That's just like a really good movie.
Yeah.
Really
Except, we don't make, $50 million.
What do you mean? No, I'm talking about a movie that we go watch to see.
Oh, yeah.
What did we see yesterday?
The Meg.
The Meg. I like The Meg. Go see The Meg.
Go see The Meg, yes. Very good.
It was kind of campy, but it was good. Go see The Meg.
Funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little twist in there, too. But it was really good.
I'd watch it again.
Yes. I thought it was like a funnier Jaws, but it wasn't a comedy. And you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Jurassic World.
I didn't see it.
Like the Jurassic Park with the big dinosaur.
I didn't see that either.
Well, you got to go. You got to get out more. Who's your parents? So, thank you. So, anyway, you say goodnight. Wrap it up.
Yeah. So, good night, guys. See ya. Thank you for joining us.
Peace. Now you post it.